You may remember this bronze reproduction of an Egyptian Khopesh made by Neil Burridge that I tested and reviewed a while ago. In case you don't, I'll post some links in the description below. So now I've got this right here, made by Purpleheart Armoury. It's a synthetic trainer based on the same Khopesh, or Khopesh as they're sometimes spelled. Now this one is a bit larger, as you can tell, but it's the same overall shape. It's in fact quite close. It's just scaled up to, I'd guess, about 120% or so. And Purpleheart Armoury has also started making a number of other unusual practice weapons, like various axes, even two Egyptian ones now, and falcatas and Viking swords and saxes. They've also made this one here, which is based on a find from the Met Museum. This is called a sickle sword, even though it's not really that much of a sickle. I mean, if you think about it, in case of a sickle, the edge would have to be on the inside, but it's actually here. And either way, this is an Assyrian sword. It's about 3,300 years ago. So this is the first time that I've seen this particular design as a practice weapon. So this Khopesh here is based on one that was found in Tutankhamun's tomb over 4,600 years ago. And this one, as you can see, is based on that. So for comparison, the trainer is of course thicker, although the original Khopesh is fairly thick as well. And they got all the details of the outline, like this little hook here almost. And you can speculate on what that is for. The best guess seems like this was used to hook into the rim of a shield and pull it down and then possibly thrust. This point is capable of thrusting, even though it might not perform as well as more narrow and tapered blades. Let's also question whether this section here has any particular practical significance. Again, we can only guess, because there are no fighting manuals from the time, of course, and no detailed explanations of how particular weapons were used or what they thought and when they came up with this design. That's also the issue when practicing with weapons like this. You essentially go on almost nothing but guesswork. There are some pictures here and there of warriors holding them. That only tells you so much. Of course, individual pictures, I mean, you can maybe get some hints from that, but it's very limited. So this is mainly just a matter of trying to figure out what works. In other words, what you can do with ancient weapons like these is you can come up with a martial arts system that's practical. You can't know for sure whether or not they fought like this, and you should never claim that, oh yeah, we found out how they fought, because it's lost. There's no way to know for sure unless you have a time machine. We gave it a try recently at Blood and Iron and sparring. We were essentially using them like short dusaks, because that's what we're familiar with. And I mean, one-handed techniques generally apply to different blades. But of course we don't have the right kind of shield, and a sword like this would very much be dependent on the use of a shield for defensive purposes. So as far as the use of these trainers is concerned in sparring, these two work reasonably well together. The Assyrian one is of course significantly shorter, or maybe not that significant, but you know, every bit of reach can be quite important in sparring, and they are safe. They do actually have some flex, as you can see right here. Particularly this one is actually reasonably safe for thrust, especially with a jacket. It's not a problem at all. This one also has, in fact, has even more flex. So this I would definitely consider safe for thrusting, and also they are light enough that they're safe for striking. I mean, you don't have to use fencing jackets with these. It depends on the intensity, and you should be wearing, you know, elbow and knee guards anyway, and they are quite well designed. Now, personally, I would prefer if it was the same scale, because you can tell how much larger the practice version is. So it would be nice if they scale it down a little bit to about, yeah, I'm guessing like 80, 85%, maybe something like that. But it sure is a very interesting training tool. As usual with nylon practice swords, one of the main advantages is that they are close to indestructible. The durability is way higher than that of wooden trainers. And also these are among the most affordable practice swords you can get. It's $26.95 US for each of them. If you don't like the paracord wrap, of course you can also wrap them yourself in whatever you like. So yeah, I'm definitely glad to have these, and I would recommend checking out the newer practice weapons that Purpleheart Armoury makes now. They seem to be constantly adding new models, and as I said, there is a lot of unusual stuff that you don't find elsewhere. So if you're interested in messing around with ancient weapons, despite the lack of clear fighting manuals and whatnot, it's a lot of fun, no doubt about it, and you can figure out a thing or two about how they were likely to be used. You know, certain aspects of the design can give you hints as to how they might have been used. So quite fascinating. Anyway, hope you liked the review, and thanks for watching.